My name is John McKeon. I'm the moderator for the Teradata River, and today we have with us John Lovett again to talk about his presentation he's giving at Partners on how to really take the hot subject of social media and actually drive it deeper into the enterprise mix. John, welcome back to the river.
Thanks for having me, John.
John, one of the things that we're seeing is a lot of use of social media on classic things of branding, PR, marketing, even just testing the waters of social media. But there's a tremendous opportunity for greater value when you start going deeper into the enterprise to try and look at things beyond traditional marketing into maybe developing services or product development. Tell me, what is the big challenges around taking social media and driving it deeper into the enterprise?
Most often what I've witnessed at organizations is that social media efforts typically start within the marketing departments or oftentimes in the PR departments, and really looking to social as a way to reach customers and broadcast their message, which is a perfectly valid use of social media. Yet some organizations are taking that steps further by thinking about how they can capture the voices of their customers, their fans, and their followers to learn more about their own products and services. Really using social media as essentially a focus group, the largest focus group that they have, to get real-time and immediate feedback. And in approaching it in that way, organizations can then start to use the voices of their customers, the opinions, and the thoughts to work on things like product development, to be able to improve their services, to take ideas from their customers, and really to be able to utilize those to improve their overall offerings to consumers at large.
John, you just mentioned product development. Give us some examples of some of the best-in-class uses of social media data.
Yeah, so some of the pioneers in that regard, certainly Dell with their Idea Storm. They came out early using consumer feedback. Starbucks was quick to follow with their own initiative, promoting ideas and allowing consumers to offer ideas. One of the most progressive examples that I've seen recently comes from Verizon. And one of the interesting things that Verizon talks about is they're mandated by regulations, legal entities, and other types of restrictions about what they can and can't say about their products to direct customers. And one of the things that they can do is they can actually allow customers to talk to each other about the things that they may not necessarily be able to report on. So in that way, they're using social media to be providers of information, but also to set up a forum and a platform for consumers to talk to each other. And as long as that advice is valid and it's coming off as appropriate, that's a great use of social media to empower consumers to be able to talk about the products they use and love, and really to be able to take that to the next level of service by not only having the providers themselves talking about their products, but also allowing consumers and actual users of those products to talk to one another.
John, great examples, but why are organizations not more integrated at this point? Is it because they are still trying to learn social media, or is it two different cultures, the enterprise culture and the social culture?
Well, let me start by saying that we're all still learning social media. One of my big mantras, and I talk about this in my book, Social Media Metric Secrets, is that the primary objective for an organization should always be to learn, and to learn more and more and more. One of the things that I've recognized is that we are very much still learning about social media, and some of the immediate uses or the predominant uses that you see out there are the early efforts. But organizations are doing a good job of taking this deeper and going further beyond just scratching the surface of direct interactions with consumers across social channels, but also to be able to mine the data, social media data, and look for insights and opportunities that aren't necessarily explicit, but they're laying within the data. And the ability to use information in that way and combine it with your other data sources, those being transactional data, traditional customer CRM information, web analytics data, really pulling data sources together, including social media data, starts to open up possibilities for not just marketers, but across the entire enterprise.
John, what about organizations that are really trying to begin this journey of driving the social deeper into the enterprise? What are some of the alligators they should avoid, and what are some of the primary first steps they should really focus on?
One of the big snafus that many enterprises run into is they start chasing the latest social media platform du jour. So chasing down a channel or an opportunity that's nascent and without really understanding what the business benefits behind that are. Understanding the ability to plan out a social media strategy, not by channel, but by applying some corporate rigor to it, to understand what it means to the business and how it is going to benefit the business, really building up a business case for what it is that you're approaching in social media, even if it is experimental, is critically important. I would say that the next bear trap, or the alligator trap, as you call it, that organizations step into, is really reporting on the wrong metrics. By and large, organizations today are predominantly reporting on what I call counting metrics. These are the low-level metrics that are provided by the social platforms, things like visits and views, followers, fan counts, likes and dislikes, really the granular level data that comes with social media. And if someone is trying to get off the ground with a corporate or an enterprise initiative, walking up to an executive and saying, hey, we got more fans today, is not an effective way to communicate information. And the way that I counsel my clients to get around this is really to take those low-level metrics and translate them into business objectives and then ultimately into business value metrics. And in doing this, you're actually working towards that corporate-level strategy and demonstrating why you're using social channels in the first place, but you're communicating in business value. And here I talk about whether it's revenue or customer satisfaction. There's many different metrics by which you can communicate this, but typically it's not the freebie metrics. It's not those low-level metrics that come along with the channels. It's ones where the measures and the managers of social media have to formulate to align with their own businesses.
John Lovett, great insight. John is a senior partner with Web Analytics Demystified. He'll be speaking at the upcoming Partners Conference. And check out his book, his brand new book, Social Media Metrics Secrets. Great. Thank you, John.
Thanks so much for having me.